Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another episode of the Ocean Star Sports Show. I'm your host, sports reporter Dominic Polio. I've got a jam-packed show for you guys for this week, some good, some bad, but we're going to kick things off with the Region 6 tournament and Point Pleasant's only region champ, Jack Baker of Point Pleasant Beach. Here's Baker's finals match of the Region 6 tournament. Point Beach's Jack Baker won the 182-pound Region 6 title with an 8-2 decision win over Riverside's Zeke Brinson Saturday night. The two wrestlers had met before, and Baker was ready to pick up another win. He scored the bout's first takedown in the first period. From there, the Garnett goal made it extremely difficult for Brinson to score. The first closed with Baker up 2-0. He managed a reversal to kick off the second period and continued to work on Brinson. The Riverside wrestler then managed an escape off of restart to pull within 4-1. But Baker is lethal from any position. The 182-pounder closed the second period up 6-1. The third period started neutral, and Baker earned one more takedown, really displaying patience and control throughout the bout. Brinson managed to muster up one last escape for his second point of the match, but it was too little too late as Baker closed out the final period without giving up another point for the 8-2 decision win. Ladies and gentlemen, your 182-pound Region 6 champion, Jack Baker.
Baker from Point Pleasant Beach.
Well, there you have it. Not much more to say about Jack Baker other than he will be wrestling down in Atlantic City in the state championships. Along with Baker, for Point Beach is Cade Watkins, who actually placed 5th in the region tournament, but because of a withdrawal from Nick Rivera of Brick Memorial due to injury, he also earned a spot in Atlantic City. Those two will be wrestling for Beach, while Point Borough's Anthony Bonavito and Spencer Robinson both placed 4th in the Region 6 tournament to earn spots at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City as well. Look out for those guys this weekend. So we start with the good, let's mix in some bad. Bad in the sense that it was a loss, but it was a great game of hockey from the Point Borough ice hockey team. The Panthers worked their way to the quarterfinals round with a big upset over Indian Hills and then faced Middletown North at the Ocean Ice Palace. This game, it was a long one, but it was good. Hold on to your hats, hockey fans, because this one is a thriller. The Point Borough ice hockey team ended up on the short end of the hockey stick with a 4-3 loss to Middletown North, decided by a shootout in Monday's Public B quarterfinals. The Panthers scored first, courtesy of a slick move and score from Eric Dahl early in the first period. The Lions would answer, though, finding the back of the net shortly after on a rebound. The first period closed with the two teams tied at 1. Middletown North would open the second with a rocket of a goal for a brief lead. Then, Borough's Matt Kimack connected with Tom Calorio to tie the game yet again. But before the end of the period, it was Corey Campbell who cleaned up a line save for another Borough lead. But this contest was far from over. Middletown North scored with two Panthers in the penalty box to start the third. Cooper Klotz made the initial save, but the Lions were persistent for the score. The two teams battled for the win in regulation, but neither could find the back of the net. The game moved to overtime, where again neither team managed to put one past a goalie. The game would be decided in a shootout. Klotz turns away the Lions' first attempt, but Anthony Manfredi also comes up with a stop. Middletown North notched a score on its second run, and Manfredi gave his team an advantage with another save. Klotz managed to thwart another Lions attempt to keep his team in contention, but again, Manfredi made another big save for Middletown North. The Lions beat Klotz one last time, and the game came down to Borough's fourth attempt. Manfredi proved resilient, picking up the game-winning save for the 2-0 shootout win. The Lions push past the Panthers 4-3 and move on to the semifinals. Oh, a shootout is always a tough way to go down, but I can't say enough about the effort, the attitude, and the determination that the Panthers exemplified, not only in this Public B quarterfinals game, but throughout the whole season. Just kudos to you guys for what you put together this year. We're going to go from one loss to another loss. Point Borough kicked off the girls basketball state tournament. Central Jersey Group 2, they hosted Delran on Monday. Another tight game that ended in a loss. Again, effort, attitude, determination, it was all there. Check out the highlight and find out for yourself. The Point Borough girls basketball team saw its season come to a close Monday after losing a close game to Delran in the first round of the Central Jersey Group 2 state tournament. The Panthers lost to the Bears by 2, 49-47. The game was back and forth through the first quarter with both teams exchanging baskets. The quarter closed tied at 13 and the trend continued into the second. The Panthers were able to establish a small lead on a Riley Sexton layup, followed by a steal and 2 from Jamie Morris. Then it was freshman Kate Liturgis with the running jumper before halftime to put Borough ahead 6. Allie Lassen kicked off the third quarter with a bucket for the Panthers. It was still a hard-fought game from both teams, but Borough managed to stay out in front and took a 41-35 lead into the final quarter of play. The fourth quarter belonged to the Bears, who chipped away at Borough's lead. A layup followed by a 4-point play tied the game at 41. From there, it continued to be a back-and-forth affair down to the very last minute of play. Lassen broke a 45-45 tie with a layup, but Brenna Cloud answered for Delran to knot the game at 47. The Panthers ran down most of the clock with a long possession before Lassen attempted a layup. The ball did not make it through the hoop, and Cloud pulled in the rebound. After a Bears timeout, it looked like Cloud would try and take it herself, but instead kicked the ball out. A wide-open Alyssa Simeon knocked down the mid-range jumper for the lead. Borough head coach David Drew managed a timeout with 0.8 of a second left on the clock. Borough went with the heave and shoot, but Delran came down with the ball and the win in a game that was literally decided in the final second of play. It's never easy losing a game at the buzzer, but it was a good game from start to finish, and one Borough will use to motivate them going into next season. That's right, next season has already started. I would not end on a loss for you guys. I'm not that mean. So here we have Point Beach boys basketball, who also opened the state tournament. Central Jersey Group 1, they hosted Piscataway Tech on Tuesday. The Garnet Gulls picked up a first-round victory over Piscataway Tech in the Central Jersey Group 1 state tournament Tuesday night. While the first half was closer than anticipated, Point Beach ran away in the second half for the commanding 89-50 victory. The Raiders came out strong against Beach, scoring the first points on 3 made free throws after an early Beach foul. From there, the first quarter was back and forth with both teams finding the hoop, but it was a Luke Frauenheim layup that put Beach ahead 15-14 to start the second. Again, Piscataway Tech found ways to score and keep the game close. The Raiders held the lead, but Danny Frauenheim went off for Beach with his own run. The Raiders were out in front after this jumper, but Frauenheim answered with a long three for the 33-31 lead. He then knocked down a jumper from the charity stripe to give the Gulls a 35-31 halftime lead. Despite the Raiders scoring first in the third, the Gulls really took flight thanks to Trevor Covey. He put together a 9-3 run on 3 buckets from downtown, prompting a Piscataway Tech timeout. It didn't matter much as the Gulls continued to run the floor and closed out the third with a 62-40 lead. Both teams found the basket in the final quarter, and Beach's bench players kept the Raiders at bay. The Gulls move on to the quarterfinals with a big first-round win at home, 80-59. A little close for comfort through that first half of play, but the Garnet Gulls picked up their speed in the second half to run away with that win. Point Beach moved on to play Burlington City yesterday in a game that will be featured in next week's Ocean Star Sports Show. Also, plenty more sports in the actual newspaper, so make sure you pick up today's copy of the Ocean Star. That is March 3rd. Yes, we are in March. March 3rd, 2017. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at Dompolio. That's at DOMPOLLIO. As always, thank you for stopping by and checking out the show. I wouldn't do it if it weren't for you. I will see you guys next week for another episode of the Ocean Star Sports Show. In the meantime, signing off for Star News Group and wishing you a happy weekend, I am Dominic Polio. Thank you.